Disappear.
32 years of pain gone in 3 days.
I just love the products. They just help me to feel younger and younger year after year.
Thank God for X39.
My skin become younger, softer, firmer.
It's been really amazing.
I love X39 because it really helped reduce the inflammation in my knee. I can now run again. Woohoo!
Hello, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Tuesday evening call. My name is Michelle Niels, and I will be your host this evening. And tonight, we are very excited to share with you a historic breakthrough in affordable wellness technology that is changing and enhancing lives around the world. And before we get started, let me ask you a few short and important questions. If you could wave a magic wand, what is one thing you would like to see changed or enhanced in your health, or in the health of someone you love and care about? What difference would it make for you or for them if that issue could be remedied or even eliminated? What if there were a way to turn back the biological clock on your aging so you could experience health, energy, and vitality as if you were years or even decades younger? Well, tonight we're going to introduce you to LifeWave's patented and unique X39 light therapy patch, which, along with proper nutrition, provides so many wonderful health benefits and also supports healthy stem cell activity. Did you know that when we are born, we have over 1 billion stem cells? But sadly, by age 35, we have lost 60%. And by 60, our stem cells have decreased by 90%. Well, this is why we don't heal as fast and why our recovery from injury, illness, and even strenuous exercise takes so much longer as we age. What if there was an affordable and natural way to enhance and support stem cell activity? Well, guess what? There is. The X39 is a non-transdermal wearable patch about the size of a quarter. It is safe, affordable, and incredibly effective. LifeWave is a leading-edge health sciences research and development company founded in 2004. Our CEO, David Schmidt, is a certifiable genius scientist and inventor who holds over 130 patents. And LifeWave has already conducted over 80 clinical studies proving the efficacy of our breakthrough light energy products. Well, there's a disclaimer. So with everything that I've said, before I introduce our special guest, I want to remind everyone that our products are not intended or designed to diagnose, treat, heal, or cure any disease. They are, however, designed to support and enhance the miracle of the human body, and with proper support, its ability to heal itself. So now it is my great pleasure to introduce our special guest, Dr. Shauna Young. I have a little bit to say about Dr. Shauna. Dr. Shauna is a brilliant naturopathic doctor and PhD, and she's the owner and medical director of Assertive Wellness, which first opened its doors in 2001. Originally started in Durango, Colorado, they have recently relocated to Boise, Idaho. Because of her reputation as a health detective, her center has now seen thousands of people who have had the confidence to travel from every US state and even several foreign countries, based exclusively on referrals from other practitioners and satisfied patients. Over the years, Dr. Shauna has appeared on numerous radio and television shows and has been a sought-after national and international speaker on a wide variety of health topics. She's the author of 2 books, If Naturopaths Are Quacks, Then I Guess I'm a Duck, and Erasing Autism, the Spectrum Balance Protocol. And Dr. Shauna is going to put her info in the chat. So if you're interested in those books, you can get them. It is my great pleasure and delight to introduce Dr. Shauna Young. So come on, Dr. Shauna.
Hello.
I'm so excited to see you.
Hi.
Hi, Dr. Shauna. So a few years ago, you were the only doctor on these calls for a couple of years with Robin.
Yeah.
When I heard you were coming back, I was so excited. And Robin put you and I together because I first met you at the LifeWave conference in January of 2020.
Yeah.
And I just adore your humor, your brilliance, your wit, everything. I just get so excited when I know that I'm to speak to you. So I'd like to start by asking you to share your personal story. And you might have a different one. You and I chatted earlier, but that one was so hilarious about what happened to you in the parking lot. But how did you get started with LifeWave and the X39? And if you'd like to share that funny story, I'm sure everyone would enjoy it.
Okay. Well, I started with LifeWave for a lot of reasons. I, in a naturopathic practice, especially one like mine, where it's very diverse, people come to me because from other states and other countries, they don't know what's wrong with them. So I need a very, very large toolbox. And everything we do is frequency medicine. Even my testing equipment is frequency. Everything I work with is frequency. So X39, when it was introduced to me, was something I was definitely, originally interested in. I also take the commitment of primum non nocere, first do no harm, very, very seriously. And when you're working with anything that there can always be something, in the most safe, natural, wonderful things, there's still going to be somebody that's allergic to gelatin, that's in the capsule, or in one case, the titanium writing that was on something. I had a patient that was having migraine headaches because of the food coloring that was in the shell of the product she was taking. So whenever you give anybody anything, you're always taking a risk. When you're using a LifeWave patch and you're just using light, then you're not taking that chance of a counterindication, because when you're letting your body do all the heavy lifting and letting that be the process, the entire process, then the person's body takes over and you're not taking those kinds of risks. So that appealed to me immediately. I also, as anybody that's been on the call with me before probably knows, I have another special affinity with it. I have what's called an MC1R gene, which gives you red hair and blue eyes, really strong bones, really good teeth, high immune system, good resistance to heat and cold, all those good things. But it also means that medications do not work, particularly pain medications. They discovered this in hospitals years ago, and they started jokingly calling it the redhead gene, because it seemed like anybody where it either didn't work at all or they had horrible side effects from it or something were almost always redheads. And so they started kind of joking around about it, which was not terribly funny to redheads, but over the years, they've realized that it actually is a real thing. It's a gene modification. The MC1R gene only affects about 1% of the world's population. So it's not a big thing, but I think that I probably have a much higher percentage of patients that have MC1R genes, because nothing else does work and they have to turn to these kinds of things. So frequency medicine has always been the way to go for me.
So it's interesting because I love frequency medicine. I've loved it my whole life. I had a father who was he was a physician that was very holistic. And you think about natural medicine, right? Like herbs and vitamins, and you don't think about those possibly having a negative effect.
Right.
So what sets the patches apart, Dr. Shauna, from, what makes them so special? Like if someone's having a reaction to something that they took in a pill, they have to wait, right, until it processes through the body.
All you have to do with the patch is take it off.
It's all you have to do.
And the only thing that a person could react to in the patch is maybe somebody that would be, sensitive to the adhesive, or something like that. But with the LifeWave patches, since they heat activate, you don't even have to put the adhesive on your skin. If people are very, very sensitive to this, we've had people put tape, like medical tape on them or paper tape on them or something, and they can put them on. I've even had people have them outside their clothes. I mean, my dog, certainly she wears hers over her fur.
Over her fur coat. Yeah.
So
right.
It gets attached to her collar, but because it heat activates, it does. I had a patient one time who took a sample of an Eon, and he put it in his shirt pocket, and it activated in his shirt pocket. He was walking around all day thinking, well, I'm doing really good.
Yeah. Little did he know.
Yeah. And realized, of course, that's what had happened.
So tell us your fun story about the Subaru. I want to hear that one.
She thinks it's funny. Michelle.
Your quote was so funny. Your quote.
I'm going to have to watch out for Michelle a little bit, people, just because she thinks it's funny. No, when I was in Durango, I had gone out to get some lunch one time at the health food store. And I was walking across the parking lot, and a car just backed right into me, not my car, into my body. The only reason I didn't go under it is because it had a luggage rack. And so I grabbed the luggage rack, and it wound up dragging my feet under the car. But, I was able to stay up. And then I got my feet back underneath me. And apparently the people did not care to discuss that with me as to why that happened. But I had only started using the LifeWave patches a few months. I was wearing X39, but I went back to the office, and I'm like, where are the rest of the patches that we got in? Where's the ice pipes and gallons? And where's the rest of the patches? And my people were all like, why? What's going on? And I said, well, I just got hit in the parking lot. Oh, is your car okay? I said, no, my car was uninvolved. And I said, I had like a gut full of Subaru, basically.
That's the part that I thought was funny. Not that you got hit, but the gut full of Subaru.
But fortunately, being that I was already wearing an X39, and then I was able to add to it, it was actually quite shocking to me how quickly I recovered. By the next day, I really didn't feel anything, and was working and doing all that. And it's kind of a good thing, because I'm one of those people that never has anything wrong. Sometimes it's hard to tell if something's working because there's nothing to work on.
Right. You feel so well. Right.
Yeah. And so what you do when you're, so it's only been, and still after all this length of time, because I started wearing them in 2019. And after this length of time, it's still always something that I notice if I've been injured. And Marone and I've been comparing cooking burns, that we would cook a lot. And those kinds of things. I hung a hanger over my arm, and it got just the right spot, and I had a bruise, but by the next morning it was pretty much gone, and by the next afternoon it was completely gone. And then you go, oh, thank you, X39, that was awfully kind of you.
Yes.
But in general, I'm not walking around going, oh, I can fly kites, and I never could, or because I'm one of those people that it's very hard to tell, because there's rarely anything wrong.
Well,
but because you feel that doesn't mean it's not working. I know
doesn't mean it's okay. So that leads me to this wonderful question. So what do you say, Dr. Shauna, to people who have used the patch maybe for a few months or even longer, and they claim nothing's happening?
Well, when somebody says nothing's happening, generally that means that whatever it is that they wanted to happen is not happening, because there is something happening. But it's maybe they their knee or their elbow, or they had something in mind that they wanted. Because on these testimonial calls, it's especially when you do it for 2 years, like I did, you hear these things, and you get these expectations that you're going to put it on, and there's going to be a light come down, and the angels will sing, and the deer will dance in the backyard, and that kind of stuff.
Yes.
And, although that's fun when that happens.
Fun when it happens. Sometimes it does, but
but it doesn't always happen that way. So even when they're saying, well, but this hasn't happened yet, or this hasn't happened, there's a lot of reasons for that. But the main one is that the X39, because of the way that it works, it is going to triage what's going on in your body. So your elbow or your trigger finger or whatever it is may be very, very important to you, but your body's like, oh, no, we need to work on this first. When I get done with this, then we'll deal with your elbow. And so that's a reason. But also too, I got to lay some blame on people, because you can't. The X39 is a miracle. There's no question. Anything that can create these kinds of responses in so many people, but it's not the only thing. We've all seen the pictures of the salmon, and they're swimming upstream and they come to the waterfall and they're just flinging themselves, over and over and over the waterfall. Well, that's our lives, because we are assaulted by toxicity every single day in every way. I mean, even if you've turned wireless off in your house, but your neighbor's got it on, everybody's having it on. I'm sitting in front of a computer right now. Right. We have our food and our water. Idaho, for example, where I live, had this enormous boom in population over the last couple of years. And so they've been throwing up cell towers and 5G towers, everywhere, just because people want their phone to work. They want, what did they say? Lightning fast wireless and all that kind of stuff. And then you look at what's in our food and all that, and you were already fighting a big battle. But then when you add junky food to it, where you're eating food that does not have nutritional quality to it, if you are not drinking water, like you should, because a patient of mine who's a massage therapist says that of all the people she works on, maybe 5% are hydrated. So it is very uncommon for people to be properly hydrated. And you can't, and also you have to avoid what you can avoid. People say, well, I may as well drink this poison, because the air is poison, but really, I mean, you got to at least give it a chance.
We have things that we can control, right, Dr. Shauna? There's certain things we can't control, but you can control the Red Bull you're sloshing down.
Yeah, you can control what goes in your mouth. You can control what it is that you do. You can control what you spray on your weeds. You can control. And so when people are saying, well, I don't know, this isn't what, it's doing something. It may not be what you wanted to do right away, but it is doing something. But you're also going to need to take some personal responsibility. People say things to me like, well, wouldn't it be great if you just had a magic wand and you could just, and no, I don't think so. Because if people came in and I could just wave a magic wand, then they wouldn't be learning lessons. They wouldn't be learning how to do this. And as a doctor, and in particular a naturopathic doctor, it is my duty to teach people how to live healthy lives and how to not only get over some particular situation that they have going, but how to have it never create in themselves again, which is, again, we're back to the X39. Because if you want to talk about prevention, and being able to do that, people, they get tests and they do all kinds of things trying to prevent it. I would rather, I'm wearing an X39, and that's a really good, that feels very secure to me. And that is one thing that you can really do. So when you're avoiding whatever toxins you can avoid yourself, then you'll see benefit. But it's like if you have a broken arm and you're like, I don't know why my broken arm keeps hurting. I keep slamming it on the coffee table, but you got to help it along. You got to be responsible and help it along.
We have our part to play. Yep.
We do.
So I'm going to ask just maybe one or two more questions before we get some testimonials going here, Dr. Shauna. So how about who shouldn't use this technology?
Well, I mean, people that have had organ transplants, and they're trying not to do that, but that's a very small category.
Yeah.
Of who shouldn't use it. A lot of people say that there's no point in using it on young people, and I completely disagree.
Okay. And why would they say that? Because young people have enough stem cells? Is that why they would say? Okay, so tell us about young people then.
Well, the perception is, yeah, they have a lot of stem cells, but you know what? If a kid is in a bad situation, to where they're seeing a doctor, they have a health situation or something go wrong, then obviously the Tinker Toys are not lining up correctly, you know, in their body. It's kind of like saying, well, you know, a kid broke his arm, but you don't have to put a cast on it. He's a kid, you know, he's got all this stuff going on, you know.
Right.
If there's something going wrong, then there's something we can do to work it. And I actually use the patches quite often on young people. I work with a lot of young people. Kids actually like me because I don't hurt them. You know, there's nothing, you know, that I do to them that they don't like. And and I see a lot of teenagers as well, because I respect their autonomy as people. And I think that they like that, you know, that I put the responsibility on them. So I've seen some really interesting things with younger people.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, one of them, I'll tell you, this is pretty interesting actually, is this one kid sorry, she's 15. She would kill me if she heard me say she was a kid. This young lady that I worked with, she had a very weird, wild, crazy health condition going on, which is pretty much a Tuesday for me. And they'd seen many doctors, and they came in, and the diagnostic equipment that I use is very dependent upon me communicating with the person's unconscious and their body knowing what's going on. And that's a really good way of getting information in general. But, you know, like a quick example with that. So you're standing there, someone sneezes, you say, oh, bless you. And then it's gone from your head. But your unconscious mind knows that you were just exposed to whatever they just sneezed on you. So that's what I do, is try to do this. But this, unfortunately, this young woman was like, so even her body was up in the air and couldn't figure out what was going on. And when I was asking questions, her body was kind of, you know. So I thought, all right, I put an X39 on her for a month, and then hooked her up again. And it told me exactly what was going on. Exactly. And not only was I able to get the information from her, but I was also able to get the information from her personally. Being that she's 15 years old, she was not insanely articulate over what was going on in her situation. But after a month of wearing the patches, she was like, yeah, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. And it gave me the ability to find out what was really happening and go to the source of what was causing her issues. So not only did it speed her process, but it also let me figure out what my process needed to be to help her. It's pretty interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So unpack that a little bit. It's like by putting the patch on, she got clear, her body signals got clear. So your diagnostic equipment.
Other direction. Her body got clear. Her brain.
Her brain.
Yes, her brain did the trick. And then the body, and then her, and then me.
And then you, right.
Yeah.
For a month of wearing the patch.
Interesting little dominoes falling there because of that.
Very cool. All right. Well, how about, Gregory, how about we get a couple testimonials going here? I only see one note at the bottom of my screen that Kathy Meredith raised her hand. Oh, great. Kathy, you are ready to share. We'd love to hear your testimonial. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Now I can, yes.
Okay. So I just passed the 6-month mark on X39. But when I first started, I was losing a whole lot of hair. It was excessive. It was clogging up my bathtub drain. I had like a little basket that would collect hair so that it wouldn't go down the drain. And thankfully, I was invited to a LifeWave meeting and got to hear a lot of testimonials. But when I turned around to sign my name onto a name tag that we were wearing in the meeting, a lady there said, oh my gosh, let me get your hair cleaned off of the back of your shirt. It was that bad. It was like excessive pet hair, like cats, dogs, or something like that. It was just beyond belief. So really embarrassing. And I ended up ordering that same day, the X39, and pretty much vowed, I'm going to give this at least 3 months and let's see what happens. Well, that was on September the 22nd. And October 1, I take a shower and there is no hair in that basket at all. And I thought, okay, now I'm losing my eyesight. Is that it? But I'm feeling around, there's no hair at all. So that is my, it was not a one patch wonder type thing, but man, I was expecting it to take months before I'd see anything like that. But yeah, ever since then, if I get 10 hairs or maybe 20, that's it. It's not a whole basket full. Matter of fact, I could probably get by with not using the basket, but just in case, I'm just going to leave it there anyway, because I'll have guests come in occasionally anyway. So that was my biggest excitement.
Wow. What do you have to say about that one, Dr. Shauna?
It's interesting. Kathy made an interesting point, Kathy, and bravo for you. Right off the bat, you said, I'm going to give this 3 months. And I think that right there was pretty key in your success, because a lot of times people are more like, they want 3 minutes, not 3 months. They want, I put this thing on 24 hours ago and my hair is still falling out. But, no, right? We're laughing, but people are also sitting at home going, oh, yes, I do that, because people do. It's instant gratification. But, those kinds of things sometimes, your hair not falling out, interestingly enough, is a side effect of the patch, not the intent. It's very interesting that sometimes people, they want a certain thing from the patch, and when they get it, they think, oh, that's great. But a lot of times it's actually more of a side effect as opposed to what happened. I think that what probably happened is it started to go to work on your endocrine system. And it started to go to work. I would say
it was stressed out. There's a ton of other stuff going on that's like, oh, look at these labs. They're so beautiful. Everything's green. Green is good. Yeah. Red is very bad. And so.
And as a result, the hair. Yeah, I know. Don't you love the side effects of natural medicine?
Love that. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Kathy. And I'm hoping we'll get some more hands up. Is there another hand up at the moment, Gregory? I can't tell.
No, there's not. And if you click on the participants, you'll be able to see.
Oh, okay.
That'll open it up for you.
Let's see.
If there we go. Jerry's got her hand up. Go ahead, Jerry.
Hi, Jerry.
Hi, Michelle. Hi, Dr. Shauna. Glad to see you both tonight. I have a myriad of testimonies that goes for now 3 years. I'm not a one-patch wonder. It took forever, but I had many, many health problems. And over the 3 years, let's see, I had a serious pain that was caused by physical therapy going down my leg, and I could not even sit after they ended up doing what they did. And that took about 3 months. But, as you say, the patch knows what it's going to do and where it's going to go. And I just shortly before that had 2 stents put into near my heart. They almost lost me. So I'm sure the repair was going there first. Mm-hmm. And then about a year later, I was forever being embarrassed if I was out and dropped something. I looked like I was about 90 years old trying to get up and down. I needed a table. And all of a sudden, I was able to get up and down and actually be on my knees, which the pain was like swords going through my knees. As a matter of fact, I not long ago was painting my house baseboards on my knees. And I can just go on and on, but I don't want to take up all the time. But I just want to impress upon people that you need to be consistent, persistent, and never give up. I mean, it's just amazing the technology we have before us that is going to do so much for everyone out there. They just have to listen and, take their time.
Persistent, consistent, and patient. Let your body has wisdom. And sometimes it isn't exactly what you're thinking, but your body has that integrity and that wisdom to know what it is. And isn't it funny, the things that we take for granted and the things that we think all of a sudden, oh, I could do that, or I can do that you never thought of. I was just having this conversation with somebody the other day. They're like, oh, I can put my shirt on over my head now, you know? And it's like, when in your life would you have ever said that before? You know, oh, I can get on my knees and I can do this, you know? There's so many things in our lives that we've let, you know, that we kind of take for granted that all of a sudden we get back. And so I think it's really important with people that they keep looking for the subtleties and for the things that maybe they weren't doing a few months ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Our job is just to get out there and share, let everybody know about it.
Thanks,
So
Jerry.
thank you.
So I see we have 8 participants who have raised hand. And so let's shorten our share time a bit so we can get as many of these people sharing as possible. Okay, so try and keep it to about a minute or so if you would. So is Carola, are you? Yes. I think that's next. Okay, go ahead, Carola.
I have been working out 5 months now, but I have been using X39, X49 for, well, X39 for sure, almost 2 years, X49 a little less. But then the other day, David was mentioning because I was working out on my lower back and it was hurting. So he was talking about putting Ice Wave on it, like on the spine, like the brown one on the lower back and the white one, like close. I was just putting it close to C7, right? Just below the X39 that I had on. And the workouts on my lower back were so much easier after that. And I almost thought, well, I have to go yet to a chiropractor, but it felt so much easier to do the workouts, and it makes a huge difference if you use the patches. And for sure, the workouts are much easier with X39 and X49 for sure.
That's great. Nope, I think lost my audio.
You're muted.
Okay.
Michelle, unmute yourself.
Oh, I got muted. Okay, Robin, please.
No, you're muted too, Robin.
Did you mute us all, Gregory?
It's contagious.
It is. I don't know. You're still muted, Robin.
We could just fake it, Michelle. We could pretend.
Yeah. Okay. We could.
I'll just make believe I'm Robin. No.
Okay.
Oh, here she comes. She's coming. Going to use my computer.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I was ready to get. I'm hearing myself twice. Are we on? I don't know if I want to be on screen. Well, but I was ready to get. I had a knee replacement that did not go well. Needed another one. Was in bone on bone for a long time, and started researching stem cells. We're ready to fork out $12,500. Yeah, for a single injection with no guarantee. And then thank goodness our friend Kai called and said, there's a new technology that activates your own stem cells. And I went, how fast can I get it? and I did put it on the top of my spine. And a week later, the knee pain was like gone. And I was a customer, and but I couldn't not share. And now all of you guys are here. Mwah.
Oh, mwah.
Because of you.
Thank you, Robin. We're so glad.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. And I was that person of putting the shirt over my head.
I didn't out you though.
That's okay. Every little thing does make a difference. And, it's cumulative. So have fun watching things like this change over time. Really
Robin's
fun.
Finger.
Okay. That's right. I forgot about that finger of yours.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Thank you, Robin. Who's next, Gregory? Uh-oh. Oh, Lavelle. Hi, Lavelle.
Hey, how are you? My wife is here with me, my amazing wife. She has a question, and then I got a brief testimony.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Hello, doctor. How are you? Dr. Young? Now, my question is, what is the protocol of the sneak thief of sight, to put it mildly, if you know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
The sneak
I got you.
thief of sight.
Yeah.
Got you.
What most of the people are doing for that is well, okay, first of all, whenever I talk about any patch other than X39, just take it for granted that I'm telling that somebody's wearing an X39 also. Okay.
Okay.
That's my default position, is to
Yes.
go X39. But using the glutathione and the carnosine, and some people use them on like a sleep mask or something like that. My mom does that, and she actually puts the carnosine right over her eye. I mean,
okay.
I'm pointing, and she'll rotate him with the carnosine and the glutathione. And some people wear the carnosine and the glutathione at the same time. She's finding that it works best for her when she rotates them. But
awesome.
Yeah.
I got that. I got that. Should they be worn at the same time?
You can. Like I said, in my mom's case, she felt like alternating them was working better for her. But some people that I know, like I said, I know a few people who just actually don't even have them touching them. They're wearing the sleep mask and they've got them on the sleep mask. So there's never like a one thing, you know, with it. It's just like the X39 you get in your pack. It says to put it on the base of your neck or below your navel. But as we all know, you can put them in a lot of places. You know, people a lot of times think, well, I'm putting this right where I need it, you know, or right where this is happening. So there's no like one thing. There's a lot of techniques. And, you know, if you listen to Dr. Nicholas for more than 5 seconds, you learn a whole bunch of them, because you know, pancaking patches and, you know, I use the triangle all the time.
Right. I was just going to ask you about that triangle.
And you know what? I haven't had anybody try this yet. I probably should. Of having an X39 on your neck and then the glutathione and the carnosine. I'm wondering if we put a triangle that way, if that might be interesting too.
Good one. Good one. I like that. I appreciate you, Dr. Young. You're awesome. Thank you, Michelle. Go ahead, honey.
Okay, so thank you, Dr. Young. Now, I have a new brand partner. He works at a gym, I think it's Elite, something in Vegas. He's 53 years old. He put on the X39 and the energy patch, and he hasn't done this in a while, but he jumped up and slammed the ball. He said, man, and he has a lot of clients. So, at 53 years old, all that energy came, and he's so
hang
excited.
on basket. Yeah.
Thanks for letting us share. God bless. Have a great one.
Hey, I would like to allow a question before we take Jonathan's testimonial, because this gentleman posted a couple times in the chat. So I appreciate your determination, John. So John has posted a couple times. My biggest complaint is headaches. Despite me preaching water, 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 I lost several clients because they can't take the headaches, even with the patch under the belly button. Under any tricks or tips to help people avoid headaches?
Wow, you know what? I have had so little trouble with that. I think that maybe it's because I have people using a lot of electrolytes, maybe. Along with their water, because I'm a big proponent of electrolytes and those kinds of things. But really, honestly, gosh, I've just really not had that issue. Maybe it has a lot to do too. My people are usually, because they're my patients, they're already on good diets. You know, they're already, you know, eating the right things and doing, you know, better things for their body. But really, honestly, I really have not had to deal with that. So here's what I'm thinking. Maybe, I know. Sorry, John. You
just gotta download that.
The light bulb just went on. So yeah. Actually adding a glutathione patch on the liver channel, which is on your right foot, you know, and that along with it, because maybe, you know, it would help with their detoxification process, you know, if they were able to use the glutathione. Because what happens a lot of times when people talk about detox symptoms and stuff, it's not that they're having detox from whatever it is they're detoxing from. It's that they're not necessarily being eliminated from their body quickly enough. A lot of people say, well, I'm getting detox symptoms because I'm detoxing too fast. And I actually see more problems from people that are detoxing too slowly. So as opposed to saying, and this is my opinion, obviously, but as opposed to saying, oh, well, I'd take off the X39 or whatever, I'd be more like, let's add a glutathione on the liver channel.
Beautiful.
And see if we can.
Let me share what Dr. Nicholas told Robin when she first started using the patch, because was hoping the pain in her knee go away, and the pain in her arm came back.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's great. You know? And you could do something like that with your friends. Say, wow, that's because the product is so powerful. It's detoxing you. And that's like you talked about earlier, Michelle. You could take the patch off. You can't take a pill out.
Nope.
And maybe 12 hours is too much. We've had people that could only wear it for a couple of minutes, and then they could work up to a half hour and then work up to an hour. So if you got people that are, you know, detoxing too quickly, they're not on a good diet, or they haven't done enough cleansing, they need to kind of work up to a full day's usage of it, probably.
Yeah, I haven't really, all I can take is my practice.
There you go.
And I just have not had very many people with that issue. I find that if getting them to do it a little more quickly is generally more helpful. But I don't know why that would be. I mean, I see people with all kinds of different things, and I have people say, but it's very rare. I mean, sometimes I have somebody say, oh, you know, I couldn't wear it all day or something like that, and that's great. I don't have any problem with that. But in my particular practice, I've seen that adding the glutathione or adding something else to it is sometimes as beneficial or more than not wearing as long.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and you have a select group, right, Dr. Shauna? They're coming to you to really move through some stuff, and you put them on, like you said in the beginning, responsible self-responsibility. You know, you can't be eating Big Macs and drinking, you know, Red Bulls and, you know, and not exercising, and, you know, so
thinking anything's going to happen. Yeah,
it's right.
So my people, I'm already beat them up pretty good by the time we get to this.
So Jonathan, you have a testimonial, I think.
Yes. So I'll say it real quick. I just want to say thank you, Michelle. Great job. Dr. Shauna, oh man, we love you. We should do this more often. So real quick, I'm 61. I've been playing basketball like I used to, almost, not quite, but I recover faster now than I did 30 years ago. That's my story. That's only part of it. But thank you so much for allowing me to tell my testimony.
That's great.
Thanks,
Old dogs acting
Jonathan.
like young dogs. We love it.
Thank you. All right. Well, let's take a couple more. And we have Casey next. Go ahead, Casey.
Well, I'm going to tell you a real quick burn story, since Dr. Shauna, this seems to be quite the thing. I don't burn myself that often, but I sure did a big number a couple of weeks ago. I grabbed a pan within a mitt that the mitt was on my right hand. I grabbed the pan with my left hand, and oh boy.
Oh,
and
dear.
By the time I realized that I was going to scream bloody murder, I put on 4 patches on that hand, 2 fingers, the thumb and the palm. And I do not know what happened, but I felt no pain. I had no blistering. I had no bruising. And the next day when I took the patches off, I'm rubbing that hand and I thought, well, where's the burn? Where did it go? The skin wasn't even rough. What the heck happened? That's incredible. I had a miracle right in my hand. So I don't burn very often, but boy, that was something.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for all your wisdom and your stories. I love them.
Cool, thanks.
Thank you, Casey. Love that share. I'm sure this is going to be very helpful to a lot of people. All right.
Air fryers, we burn ourselves all the time.
We have 3 more, and we'll just ask those folks to go real quick, and please, no more hands going up.
No more hands after these 3. Okay, so who is next?
Let's see. Who is next? Patricia.
Okay, Patricia, please unmute.
Hi, guys. Quick question. I've been wearing the patches, well, 39 and 49 mainly until last year. Working on several things, but now I'm focusing on my knees. that were damaged about 10 years ago. And there's a lot of porous, that stuff buildup in there. But what I have noticed when I go see my kinesiologist, I started picking up all kinds of bacteria, because I mean, it's healthy. And he'll say, you've got these bacterias. And I don't know whether to be, how worried to be about that. I haven't had this ever. But I know this isn't a curative thing, but I know that my body is getting stronger and better. And I turned 78 in January. And since COVID, I've just slowed down, no motivation, no anything. And I'm starting to get all of that back. Mm-hmm. But how concerned should I be about, I guess I'll have to lock myself in a closet to not get any more bacteria. But it seems like every other month I pick up a different bacteria. Is that of concern, or is it just part of the process?
That sounds like it could be dental to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A lot of times when I see these bacteria numbers showing up and stuff, they're from dental issues. It isn't necessarily related to your knees because dental issues will pop up very quickly like that and come and go. The only other thing I can think of, did you ever have surgery on your knee or anything?
No.
Because what sometimes happens with the X39 is a process that's called retracing. And again, this is something that Robin is familiar with, as am I. I had that happen with my wrist. Sometimes when you've had damage, and like, let's say, like in my case, I had a cartilage tear, and it repaired. I was doing therapy and everything, and I repaired it. But then after I've been wearing the X39 for 6, 7, 8 months, all of a sudden my wrist started to itch very badly, and it just felt really, really strange. And apparently my wrist healed, but not perfectly. And the X39, when it had, nothing else to do in my body, it decided to go back and heal my wrist perfectly. And it's called retracing. So you may be getting some retracing in your knees as well, or something that had happened prior. But whenever you have bacteria just popping up out of nowhere like that, my first thought's always dental.
Great. Hadn't thought of that, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Good one. Thanks, Dr. Shauna. Mm-hmm. All right, Penny.
Oh, there we go.
All right.
Hi there.
Yay.
This is my first time of joining you at this meeting. And I've had a long-term question about how do we get LifeWave in bulk? Because I'm a registered dietitian. I have a nonprofit in Guatemala. I have a lot of people who need the product. And I've been buying it at the wholesale prices in small quantities, but I keep ordering and ordering and ordering. And I take it down there because we don't distribute in Guatemala. And I give it to the people who need it. And it's an ongoing process because they don't just need it for a month or 2 or 3, they need it for forever.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to buy 50 packets at a time, but I don't know how to do that. How do the doctors handle this?
We have the same issues you do.
Oh.
Do you buy the maintenance pack, Dr. Shauna? Does it?
Yeah.
Yes. That may not be enough. What is it in the maintenance pack?
Yeah, 9.
6 or 12.
9 of them.
Right.
That's it. Just 9. And you get all this packaging. I have thrown out so much cardboard and packaging and glossies and information. And all I want is just like bulk patches.
And I'll add to that briefly, Penny. We do have a 20-pack of X39, which brings the price down significantly. And it's, we have to, by FDA, FTC regulations, include the packaging with every, the consumer information with every sleeve that we sell, even though we don't need them because we get them in every one every month. It's just, that's a regulatory constraint. But the maintenance packs and the 20-pack of X39 are the best way to buy in bulk.
I didn't realize there was a 20-pack. I'll have to hunt for that.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Great.
Thanks,
And
Gregor.
our last person is Francine.
All right. You're going to finish off the meeting, Francine. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I actually have a question. I've been on the patches 2 years now. And X39, of course, every day, and I love Eon. But I'm having a procedure done in 2 days where I will be under anesthesia for 30 minutes or so. It's not an actual surgery per se, but they're going in to do a little scraping, female issue. And I can't eat or drink after midnight. So I was thinking I shouldn't wear a patch until after it's all done with, or?
I would. I mean, I wear it. You know, that's what whenever I have people do stuff, I have people that wear them during all kinds of procedures. And because pain medication doesn't work on me, I'm definitely, if I have to get dental work done again, I'm going to be wearing ice waves next 39s while I get it done.
And afterwards, should I use glutathione or anything in addition to
if you have
the anesthesia
or anything? Yeah, I would do the glutathione as well afterwards. Yeah.
Okay, that's my question. And I love the patches, especially sleep.
Right.
It has put me into a much deeper sleep state than I was ever in before.
Oh, well, that's no small thing, is it, Dr. Shauna? That's like,
no, that's huge.
That's huge.
There's no healing without sleep. You know, there's no, your body has no time to catch up. There's no time for anything, so, when people, a lot of times, again, back to what I was saying, people say, well, I don't know, I'm not, well, how do you sleep? No, I sleep really good. And I'm like, okay, that's not a small thing. Let's revisit that, right. Because that's one of the biggest things I'd say of every complaint when people come in. I would say that not getting proper sleep is probably either number one or very, very close to it.
Very good.
And so anything that we can do to not only sleep, it's not about closing your eyes, it's about getting sleep, which is sometimes two different things. So I've never been a long sleeper. I'm not a person that sleeps 8 or 9 hours or something like that. But I've never really done that, and I still don't. But I feel like the sleep that I get is so much better quality now. And I think that that's really the difference. Is your body's got to have a chance to catch up. And if you can shut it down for a little while and let it catch up, then you're way ahead of the game.
Beautiful. Wow. Well, thank you. What a wonderful call tonight. And for those of you who are wondering, yes, this has been recorded and it will be available on liveyoungeryoutube.com, probably in the next day or two. So thank you for everyone who participated and shared your wonderful stories and the great questions. And thank you to our dear, dear beloved Dr. Shauna Young. We're so happy.
And I just want to thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Dr. Shauna. I remind everyone that Dr. Shauna is available for Zoom and phone consultation. Her number's in the chat, and I'll give it to you in case you're not looking at the chat. It's 208-261-3341. Okay, that's 208-261-3341. And Dr. Shauna, I guess they just send you a text or give you a call and
it's a landline. So don't.
It's a landline.
That is a landline. That is my office. So yeah, be sure. I've had people say, "How come you're not answering your phone calls?" But it's because it's a landline.
Important to know. Important.
For good reason. Yes. And you know what? I'd like to have one last thing, because Gregory, you're the one that brought this to my attention. You had made the comment that you figured out what you wanted to be when you grew up, what you wanted to be when you got older, which was younger. And for me, it's not about getting older, because that really doesn't bother me. I mean, I'm a boomer. I grew up with great music and, the best music. Hello.
I agree. We had the best.
Yeah. And we had many, many great things. And so it's not about the age. It's not about getting older. I'm not afraid of growing older, and I'm not afraid of death. I'm afraid of wheelchairs, walkers, people having to take care of me, adult diapers.
Right.
Right? do you know how many depend? I mean, oh my gosh, the amount of commercials. That's what I'm afraid of. And so if I can do this, then it's not about getting older. It's about staying younger and staying great. And that's what we're after. You know, I don't care about the number.
Right.
I just want to feel great.
Want to feel great. Yay. Everyone's agreeing in the chat. Yay. This was amazing. Thank you.
So awesome.
Thanks, everyone. And get back to the person who invited you to this chat, okay? If someone loved you enough to send you here, they care about you. They want you to be well and even weller. So, so get back to the person who invited you and find out how you also can start wearing these amazing light therapy patches. So thank you so much, everybody.
Bye, Life Wavers.
Good night.